This is the House of Boom Podcast Business Spotlight, brought to you by Clean Everything LLC. I'm your host, Eric Boom Salvery. Today, we have a lifelong, what's the term we use?
Lifestyle
entrepreneur. We upgrade. We're not just entrepreneur, we lifestyle entrepreneurs. I got my man Kells in the building. I would tell you what he does, but he does everything. I mean, he really does everything. Just like Clean Everything cleans everything, he does everything. And it's a great way to. Me and him connected maybe a month ago at Ron Faison's event. Black Hollywood Gala. The brother was in there with the green tux. He was killing it. All the ladies was like, "Yo, who's that?" And then one lady sent me over there. They was like, "Yo, go say what's up to him for me." I'm like, "Why don't you go tell him what's up?" I'm like, "Nah, he a cool dude." He went over there. I sent the message. I was the messenger. I was like, "Yo, da-da-da-da." And then whatever happened. But I appreciate genuine energy. I linked up with the brother. I called him. I had him up the other day. I said, "Yo, can you come on my podcast? Because I see you styling and profiling on your profile, IG." I wanted to hit you up actually and say to you, I wanted to do a shoot with you because I was like, "Yo, I see you thing, and I'm working on my camera game a little bit, and let's link up." But it just seemed like the right move to bring you over here and just have you on the podcast. So, how you feeling today, brother?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
It was like yesterday you asked me.
I literally asked you yesterday.
And I always like talking shit. So anyway I get to talk shit, I'm always willing to come on the podcast.
Yo, it's really dope. Like we started talking. Obviously, everybody has the conversations before and after. Me and him started chopping up. I was like, "Yo, no, save that for the podcast. Save that for the podcast. Yo, let's let the people hear that because people need to hear that." So it's so many places we could start. But let's start with the fashion game. You know what I mean? What got you into that? Let's just start there. What got you into it?
So wow. So like I told you before we started recording, like depending on what day you ask me what I do, I'll give you a different answer. Mm-hmm. But at heart, my heart is in fashion. My family started a fashion custom clothing company 31 years ago called 5001 Flavors. We do all types of celebrities, athletes, everyday people getting married, people just want to be fly, birthdays. We do everything. We do wedding dresses, furs, everything, literally everything.
Wow.
So originally what happened was, I had no real plan for my life. Just being from Harlem, I always, everybody in Harlem think they fly. Everybody in Harlem swear they're a designer. So it's like you might as well fucking be a designer, right?
Right.
So I went to school. I came out of school with my master's degree. I couldn't get no job, like literally no job. It was crazy.
What was your master's in?
Business.
Okay.
But what they don't tell you in this country is that they want you to go to school. When you get out of school, you literally overqualify for every entry level job in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing set up for people once you come out of school. So I'm like, fuck. Like, the family had the business. I have been doing designs here and there, like making my own stuff. And everybody knew me for fashion. Mm-hmm. But I just never thought that's what I wanted to do because it was that accessible. Mm-hmm. It was not hard, like, because we already had the company. So I had no idea what I wanted to do. I'm like, I might as well just give fashion a full run. Like, and I started and we had to look back. I did 5001 for a few years. Then we did Harlem Haberdashery. Then from there, just something else came. Mm-hmm. So Harlem Haberdashery is our custom clothing boutique, but we also have ready-to-wear stuff. But the reason why we decided to open up the boutique, even as far as giving it a new name, Harlem Haberdashery, is just to separate the brands because people had already associated 5001 Flavors with many different celebrities, and most people think that's a celebrity-driven brand, but it really isn't. So we opened up Harlem Haberdashery, which is basically the retail expression of 5001 Flavors. So it's the same brand, it's just two different companies. And we've been doing Harlem Haberdashery. This is our 11th year, and it's been going absolutely incredible. And what I love about it is we're opened up in the neighborhood that we all grew up on Lenox Avenue, 122nd and Lenox. I grew up on Lenox. My brother is from Harlem. My sister's from Harlem. So it's like all of my businesses are family owned, but all of my businesses are centered around Harlem. It's really important to show the community that you could be from the hood, still do good, and still want to open up in the hood. And we've been thriving, and what's great about our support is that people know we could have easily went downtown. We could have opened up a Soho. We could have went to D.C., Chicago, anywhere where it's boutique row. When we opened up our store on 122nd and Lenox, there was no retail around where we are now. It's different type of restaurants, different type of businesses. It's dope. And essentially, that's what powered the Harlem Renaissance. Most people don't realize the reason why the Harlem Renaissance was so successful is because there was a row of stores. So I could go to one store to get a hat, another store to get a shirt, another store to get socks. So they would tell you where to go for this and that. That's why the Harlem Renaissance was so important, and that's what we like to do too. You come into our store, I don't have this, you'll go see my man up the block. Oh, this, we'll put you in contact with somebody who knows this, and it's just been going really well, man. And it's like sometimes I gotta take a step back and realize, wow, this shit is incredible. Cause like when you doing something, you in it. It's not that dope to you. Somebody gotta tell you, like, yo, like, this is dope. Like, I feel it, but you like, nah, I really don't feel it. So it's just been incredible, man. Fashion has.
Before you go, I want to jump in right there. You said something before we got online, right? You said, I find it weird when people go to fashion school, but you said right. It's been that accessible to you that it's almost like I remember I used to live in Jersey City for a minute. I never used to go to the city. Now I'm in the city all the time. Right. I live further away, so I get that complacency feeling where it's right. Like I don't need it, but then when you need it, you need it.
It's the same way with being from New York. Like most New Yorkers never been to Statue of Liberty because it's right there.
Right.
Because I live in New York, most people consider it the fashion capital of the world. Some of the dopest fashion schools in the world. It's like, why would I go there? Like New York is fashion school. Like I went. Riding a train is fashion school. So it's like I get why people go to school for fashion, but my family, myself, I learned by trial and error. It's nothing really that a fashion school will be able to teach me that I can't learn from trial and error. This don't work, this does work. Literally everything that we've learned in the fashion business, we've learned on our own. And it's nice to get tips and pointers from some of the OGs in the game, and I've been surrounded by some of these dope people. But yeah, trial and error, man. Like, yeah. And it hasn't never failed us. Like, so it's like I get why people go to technical school for things. Some things you need to go to technical school for, like to fix a car. Like you can't unless your father was nice and he just taught you. But to really do stuff, you need license and stuff. Yeah. You got to go to school. But fashion, man, all you need is the hustle, man. You know what I'm saying?
So, family business. Now, 31 years of business, it's fine-tuned. But let's talk about, because people often say, you shouldn't do business with family and stuff like that, but y'all have a pattern of success, you know what I mean? And it's branched out into other things, which we'll get to. But talk about that, the family business.
So, what's crazy is the way I explain it to people, the best way to explain it is we're not a family business. We're in business. We just happen to be family. What's dope about my family is that in any given day, anyone can lead. And, titles, I'm talking about like job titles, to me, is how people feel good about themselves. If you're the boss of the CEO, that don't mean shit if you won't pick up a broom and sweep like the janitor. You feel what I'm saying? So my roles change. One day I'm the owner, one day I'm the cashier, the security, the janitor, I'm running to get coffee. It don't matter. Nobody in my family has an ego like that. So it's very easy to be in business with family if nobody has an ego. And we're all came up in this business together to understand that sometimes different people have to lead. If it's your event, or if it's an event focused on you, you get the spotlight. I don't need the spotlight. And what's crazy about the spotlight can't hit everybody at one time. So if you just happen to be like on a good run, let's make it shine on you. If I'm on a good run, make it shine on me. And when it's my event, I shine. When it's your event, you shine. When it's all of our events, we all shine. But what's dope is, man, it's just like, there's no ego with my family. And even when something does happen, somebody be like, yo, some bullshit what you did. So it's, I know that we are blessed to be a family-owned business for this long. But I just attribute that to just having no ego, because you could be in business with anybody for this long and have no ego. But you got to be with people who are not intimidated by your shine. Because I've had partnerships with people intimidated by my shine, or intimidated by someone else's shine. But what the beautiful thing about what we do is that nobody is intimidated by anybody. That's the biggest successful factor of working with my family.
Okay. we're gonna stay the family, but we're gonna stay in this fashion space because you got a lot going on. Like I said, I'm gonna make sure I give it each moment
Right,
its respect. So let's stay in this fashion space. I always used to tell people like, yo, when you go out, right, you should have I call it a day bag, and you should have just in case fits for almost everything, right?
Okay.
What as a man, let's focus on we both men, even though you cater to everybody. What do you think are some necessary things to have? If I had a day bag and I'm a socialite, I might end up at brunch, but then I don't know, end up somewhere else. Talk about necessities that you should have.
Like some essentials that every man should have?
Yeah.
Well, if we're talking about like far as essentials, a white shirt can get you a long way. You could go to brunch, you go to formal, you could put it with jeans, you could wear it with sweats now.
Okay.
I love seeing people dress high and low like sweats and a tuxedo shirt. I love that look. Especially love when ladies do it, but I love when dudes do it right, not just do it. Because what I realize is there's a misconception about like what dressing is, and most people, and black people know what this term means. Like they'll wear a church suit to like a hip event and it don't work. Like you look like you got on a church suit. Like
right.
Even it's a nice suit. I'm not saying the suit is whack, but you know a church suit when you see it. You're like, that's a church suit. You just try to hip hop it up. It don't work.
Right.
So you got to get a suit that works for all occasions if you want to do that.
Right.
Or you see somebody with a weird looking shoe. You're like, that's a 9-to-5 shoe. That's not a shoe you'd wear to like a gala that like where we met.
Yeah.
But every man should have a white shirt because you could do so much with it. I believe every man should have a bandana on a neck scarf.
Okay.
It changes every outfit that you can think of. Like literally, like sometimes I'll wear just a t-shirt and then midday, like you go somewhere, you take pictures, then midday I got the bandana in my pocket, I tie around my neck, and it looks like I'm in 2 different events. You really look dressed up when you have a neck. And I always tell my son the reason why I started wearing bandanas every day, like a necktie, is because you can dry your hands, you can wipe your sweat. There's so many functions to it, and then it looks good. Every man should have a white pair of sneakers. Your brand of choice is yours. Because when you hear white pair of sneakers, because black people in hip hop think white Air Forces. I don't like white Air Forces. So long as you got a white sneaker, it's great. Whatever brand of your choice. Jeans, a dark wash jean, not the acid wash jean, because it looks so dated and it looks so fad. I like my essentials are all things that are timeless.
Okay.
Like something that I could rock when I was in high school and something that I can rock now. And most of the stuff that I own, sometimes when I post, I'm like, yo, this is a 20-year-old jacket, this is a 10-year-old, this is a 15-year-old jacket. I try to shop and make stuff that has no date on it. I don't like fads. Because fads, even I could post a picture that I took in 1999 right now, and you would think it was last week.
Can I interject right there? Not interject, but you know what I really like? Well, places I like to shop at, thrift stores. Because
thrift stores are incredible.
You can find some real, like...
A lot of people don't like thrift stores.
Yo.
I remember I dated somebody one time, and for whatever reason, she found herself to say to me, "Don't buy me now from a thrift store." I'm like, well, it was just random. Like,
right.
I'm like, I didn't even like bring that to you.
Right.
So it was weird that she said it, and that always stuck with me. I'm like, wow, like some of the dopest things in the world are from thrift stores. Some of my dopest pieces are from thrift stores. The best thrift stores it depends on what you're looking for. Philly has a lot of amazing thrift stores, especially for accessories.
Let me write that down.
Philly is amazing for thrifting. Soho used to be dope. I don't know what happened, man. Manhattan period used to be dope for thrift stores. But now it's like those same thrift stores don't be hitting the way they used to. There's a dope joint in Brooklyn called Urban Jungle, which is absolutely incredible. Check them out. And they have stuff for our size, like big men. Like, it's really dope. And they have stuff for everybody. They got furs. Sometimes they got nice Coogis. Sometimes they always got Army and Navy stuff, which I really like. I love old school Army and Navy stuff just because of how the fit and the cut was. It was like real crisp. It was like almost like a tuxedo jacket, the way they used to make Army clothes. But yeah, I love old stuff, man, because that stuff is timeless, man.
I'm gonna show you a picture when we finish up. I had this jacket I bought and from a thrift store. It's a real army jacket. It was
Nice.
a real one because my boy told me, he was like, "Nah, my dad was in the military. His dad was older. He's like, he had that jacket.
Right.
I wear every time I go somewhere. Somebody compliment.
You know what's
me.
crazy though about buying thrift army stuff?
Yeah.
Somebody could have fought in that shit and died. Nobody ever think about that. Somebody could have got their whole head blown off, and they took the jacket and dusted that shit. I was like, yeah, put that shit in the thrift store. Nobody ever think about that. Everything you buy from a thrift store has a life.
That's true.
That's
true.
And most of that stuff is given to the store from estates.
Yeah.
Somebody has passed. They could have passed wearing the shit that you buy.
You know what was crazy? One time I went to a thrift store, saw this Burberry jacket. It wasn't even crazy expensive, but I was like, nah. I told myself I wasn't gonna spend. I said it'll probably be here. Came back like a week later, the show was gone.
Oh no, that shit, yeah, no.
It was gone. I was
Can't come back.
mad.
I've never gone back on no thrift, and it was still there. That stuff, yeah.
It's gone. It's gone.
But yeah, thrift stores is dope. But yeah, I just dress timeless. Is one of the most beautiful timeless brands in the world, and most people try to emulate them, and most people look up to them, is Ralph Lauren Polo.
Facts.
His design sensibility was to be timeless. That was literally his only motive when he came out with a brand. If you notice, all of his fad brands like Rugby and all those RL, he got rid of them because it was dated. Like you could date a Rugby. He likes timeless stuff, and he realized that a lot of that stuff was too fatty.
Wow.
Started with ties.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Started with ties, man.
You know, it's interesting. One nugget that I want to touch on, and then we're gonna get to our producer segment question. I like that you said I tell my son all the time.
Yep.
You know, we in Black History Month, all that good stuff. But what are some things that you often tell your son beyond just the fashion stuff in this day and age? Because I feel like in some way, shape, or form, the Black fatherhood, Black and brown fatherhood is under attack,
Yep.
and people don't realize there's a lot of good Black fathers out there. I point to producer Baif. Sometimes I'm hitting him up and I'm like, "Yo, did it?" He's like, "Yo, I'm taking care of me and my son. We doing our homework,
and it's shut down.
And we gotta adjust around that." And and he'll tell you, I'll be like, "I don't want to get in the way of that, bro."
Yeah.
Often, and it's. I don't have any kids. I would hope that one day I do have a son, but I do have a lot of mentees that I pour into. But what are some things that you like to pour into your son? And it don't got to be a lot, but just some things.
So I didn't. My dad has been in jail my entire life, right? So one of the things I tell my son, and as a joke, and he understands it because he understands what's going on with me. I was like, yo, I'm jealous of you. And the reason why I'm jealous of you is because you have a father in your life. I didn't have that. So everything that I'm experiencing with my son as a father, I'm experiencing it for the first time. Randomly, last summer, and I joked with my kid's mom about this, literally just texted joking about this because you sent me a picture of him on a bike. My son just turned 14 this past December. And what's crazy is I'm sitting in the house one day, I'm like, oh shit, I never taught my son how to ride a bike. I said, yo, I'm fucking wilding. It just hit me. Because being a father is so complicated because you got to make sure he's mentally good. He understands finances. He understands how to treat women. He understands how to treat friends. So I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. How the fuck am I teaching him all this shit? I forgot him to teach how to ride a bike. So it's like just being there's a lot of moving parts. So yeah, I just always try to tell him to be emotional understanding. Meaning like understand your emotions. When I was growing up, and it's crazy, as you get older, you don't realize that a lot of shit is bullshit to you older. Nobody has ever verbally said to me that crying is for girls. But it was known. Right. But nobody has ever walked up to me and said crying is for girls. So I try to get my son to understand that you can cry as long as you are emotionally intelligent to understand why you're crying. It's a difference between being upset and not knowing what you're upset about. You ever be upset about something and maybe your girl or your dude or somebody, you're like, oh, shit, I didn't even think about that. So as men, I feel like we should understand why are we upset. Because once you understand why you're upset, you understand how to fix the damages that you did when you were upset. If you did any damages. So I try to get him to understand emotional intelligence, and that's something I really try to pour into him. One is to be organized, and he's a 14-year-old boy. So it's like he just doesn't understand it. And the reason, even going back to what we were talking about before we started recording, like how am I able to do all these different things? That's because of organization. I could literally start a new company every single day because I know how to organize it. It took me a while to understand that, and this is something I try to teach my counterparts and other people, is once you organize, anything could just come in. The reason why most people say they're not ready for children is because their life is disheveled. If your life is organized, I tell you, just slip it in. Now you got to readjust some of the things. So I always try to teach my son the importance of being organized. But again, he's a 14-year-old boy. He has my attention span, so he's all over the place. He didn't get there yet. But I was a neat freak at his age. So it's weird that he's not a neat freak. I'm like, damn, like, what the hell is that about? So, yeah, just organization. But it's like, I'm just so proud of him, just watching him grow up. It's like, to me, he's perfect. Everybody say that about their kids. But I just be watching, like, wow, like this. He understands shit. Like, he could probably come in here and unhook and hook all this shit up. I don't know none of this shit. I'm like, we're not even looking at nothing, right? But something as simple as doing his homework, that's where it's like, he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, that's where he gets confused at. I'm like, I just seen you figure out how to hook up this whatever, but this homework is where you, like, that's how I know that kids pour into what they want. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that part of that, and that's just something I think that, men are kinesthetic learners. So at some point he either saw you or somebody else do that, and it became.
It's also this generation, man. Like these kids pick up on stuff like
super quick.
Like, no lie. You know remember how stuff used to come in instructions? Have you noticed that stuff don't come in instructions no more?
No.
Because these kids don't need it. My son doesn't need any instructions on anything.
Wow.
Like, and I'm talking about as far as like electronics. Like, he'd be like, no, this is how you do it. I'm like, oh, like I could figure it out, but not as fast. And I don't know if I would maybe have figured out at his age. He's 14, and he could probably hook up. He would probably go to a concert hall and hook up some sound equipment. I'm like, these kids, they just learn very quickly, man. So I always tell them, I'm excited to see where you're going to be when you grow up, if this is how you are now. But I try to get them to understand, son, you could be anything you want in the world. And that's a dangerous statement for a child with no guidance. Yeah. But I really tell them you could be anything you want in the world if you put your mind to it and focus. These kids have an advantage. You could literally make a multi-million-dollar career out of anything right now. Right. Selling socks, selling couches, selling set designs. You could literally make money doing anything. If somebody would have told our parents when we were my son age, yo, you could make $1 million playing video games. My mother would have said, that don't even make sense. Right. Now, it's kids making $1 million a month playing video games.
Like I said, I work in photography, and I've done all types of stuff that I ain't even been places. But I was at the first NBA 2K draft in Madison Square Garden taking pictures. Like, crazy. They had a draft for this joint. Yeah. Like, yo, for each city that they was going to be representing.
It's crazy.
It was crazy. That was like 4 or 5 years
think
ago.
about how that is now.
Yeah.
That's probably bigger and bigger.
Right.
Video games and technology, and it's crazy. I remember AOL Instant Messaging?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it's funny, they used to knock us for doing that, but that's how I learned how to type fast. That's literally how I learned how to type fast. Not no program, just talking. Because if you're in a group, and if you back then, if you was in a chat room, you had to get your joke off before. Y'all literally, no lie, I literally learned how to type fast from AOL Instant Message. I promise you. Most of us was doing HTML coding on MySpace and didn't even realize it.
Right.
We were doing, people pages was incredible.
I got better with BBM. I ain't gonna lie. That's what got me better at typing faster, like BBM, right?
But if you were to tell our parents some of this stuff that we utilize, like I truly believe that video games are beneficial. Helps you with problem solving. But nobody thinks about it that way. But I encourage my son to do whatever wasn't encouraged when I was little. I encouraged my son to do. Be creative, have an imagination. I don't care if you stay up all night, sleep all day. That's old school thinking. As long as you're productive when you're up. Like, remember our parents, you had to be up in the morning. For what? If I don't have school, why do I need to just be up? Just to be up? No, if you will stay up all long as when we need to do something productive, you're productive. If you're doing good in school, if you listen to your mother, if you're doing everything you need to do, when it's your time, you can stay up from Friday to Sunday. I don't care. Long as when Monday come around, you back in school.
I'm gonna ask. We in the vein, right? I'm gonna ask producer Bobby because I always like, I see him interacting with his son. Just to share something that you might share with your son, and then we'll move on to the producer segment question if you could.
I mean, as a equal to just a bunch of stuff I do. Like I got a 9 to 5, I got 2 businesses, I cut hair, like I do music, like a bunch of stuff. It's beautiful to see another person from the generation. Like I feel like if you were 80s baby, 90s baby, like we are the pendulum that technology swung in on.
Yep.
Like I remember Oregon Trail. I remember what it was like to have the noise, to not have the noise of technology.
Yep.
And to sift through the noise as somebody who remembers being outside with 25 cents in your pocket just in case it was emergency.
Having the
Hit the
greatest time of your
payphone.
life.
You know what I'm saying? Your mom's, it wasn't no street light. We was talking about that. Street lights come on, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I try to instill a lot of the same qualities in my son, and it's not based in old school tradition.
Right.
Like, I don't care that you aren't aspiring to go to college.
Right.
What I care about is if you are aspiring to learn. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a big difference. And we now know that college is not the only way.
It's a fact.
And for most statistically, for most millionaires in the world, it's not the way.
At all. It's a
These
fact.
kids have that advantage, though. These kids really have that advantage. So I encourage my son's creativity. I want him to be creative. I want him to explore what, if he want to be the first person to mix different weird colors, whatever he wants to do, I'm gonna back him. Literally, because I know that we see all of these success stories.
Right.
Imagine George Lucas explaining to his parents he's gonna make Star Wars one day. Like, what the fuck is you talking about? Like what are you talking about, bro? Go be an accountant.
Right.
Like, bro, I don't want to be an accountant. I want to be a trillionaire. My name is George Lucas. I'm going to create Star Wars, whatever. Yeah. And now look, like, so nothing my son will be able to tell me to be like, oh, don't do that. Like, whatever you want to do. I don't care what you do. You know what I'm saying? When we was growing up, it was going into corporate America, whatever that meant, or sports. My son don't play sports. I don't play sports. So if he decides not to play sports, I kind of think he's going to get into it. But if he decides not to, great. We already know that's one way of success. You could be anything.
The landscape of sports has changed too.
It has.
And I think that's I think it's good in a way because the kids that are like college, they get paid now and all the other stuff, or they can make
they get
money.
paid?
Yeah, they can get money. They can get. It's called NIL, so name, image, and likeness. They can get paid
that's dope.
off. So say your son
should be.
Say your son decide he want to do a fashion thing. 10 years ago, they would be like, no, you can't sell no clothes because if you do, somebody could pay you under the table over what your value is.
Yo, these kids are in video games. They should be getting paid. They should be getting paid under the table, over the table.
Now,
like, what the hell?
With the table.
What the hell, man?
Now,
these kids are college basketball is more profitable than NBA sometimes.
It is.
These kids should get paid.
So now, you can get paid off the name, image, and likeness. But I do think it actually weeds out the people who really don't want it. Because some kids, they were sold that dream. I got to play because I got to get my mama out the hood. Now, it's like, I could do this. I could play video games and make the $1 million.
Yo, you could get your mother out the hood playing video games.
Right? Or this or that. And so the people who really want to play sports, football, basketball, whatever, that have that drive, it's there for them, and it's an option, and it's not
it's less saturated. Because back when I was coming up, everybody wanted to play sports. And now it's like, you got to go to the hood and, like, who want to play? Like, because we realize there's other things our kids want to do.
Right.
That's why, like the law of statistics, right? And I love talking about this because it's a real thing.
Okay.
If you take a group of 10 people from any hood and you ask them what they like, in front of each other, all of them are going to say basketball because that's product of your environment. That's what we do in the hood.
Right. But
if you take those same group of people and put them in 10 rooms and really ask them what they want to do, guarantee you 8 of them are going to say, I don't really like sports. I only like sports because that's what my hood liked. I didn't realize I got about 13, 14. I'm like, sports is kind of whack. Like, it's just not as fun to me as it is to everyone else. I like playing video games. I used to love playing Sonic, in Sega Genesis. I didn't like sports. I only did it because that's what we did in the hood. So what the law of statistics says is that people only choose things because of groupthink. Most kids are not into the things that they're into. They're only into it because that's what the group chooses. If you take that same kid and offer them something different, which is happening now, you got beautiful programs coming in the hood now. Like, you got STEM programs in some hoods. Like, and kids are like, I'd rather do this than sports. The only reason a lot of kids did sports, it was nothing else to do. Now, sports is a great equalizer for idle minds. But our kids need something else. Give them sports. Give them sewing, and not just the girls. There are boys who want to learn how to sew too. There are boys who want to be designers also. What I'm saying is if you offer more things in a hood, people are going to choose more things. But it just so happened that all our hoods, they always just give us sports.
Well, that's the clip right there. I don't even know. Like, yo, you dropping so many bars. I'm like, dang, what clip we gonna choose later on? But I know B. I'm just marking that. Might be the one.
We got 20 so far.
We got 20.
We only in 37 minutes.
Well, the dope thing is that we have a sponsor, and we have a producer segment question. Even though you heard B speak already, our producer segment question is brought to you by Clean Everything LLC. B, I'm sure you got it. I know that the question molecules in your brain are tingling right now. What's going on? You ready?
So, giving you your flowers while you here, breathing, not on some Virgil shit. Like I really am proud to like have somebody in the aisle doing something that's not only influential in a certain sector of the market, but also influential in a certain sector of the world, in a certain sector of a state that, you know, you might as well say Harlem is like another state, really.
It is.
So I appreciate that. It's kind of a twofold, but I'll go with the one fold first. Family business in fashion. Somebody who is also a family man. What do you believe in more, balance or harmony?
Wow. Well, I don't believe that harmony can exist without balance. So I would say that I believe in balance more than harmony, because even without harmony, you could have a peaceful balance of anything. You know what I'm saying? Balance is hard sometimes though, man. Like, I struggle with it a lot, like balancing time, and it's like, you kind of miss being a kid with somebody telling you what to do. As an adult, you got to balance out your life. You're like, what should I do today? Should I work out? Like, should I? Because we always got things to do. So I always tell people I have no free time. I just make time. It's a difference.
Right.
So I would say balance, but balance is very hard, especially for an entrepreneur. It is extremely hard to find balance, a healthy balance.
So we talked about balance and harmony, but you got a lot going on. Mm-hmm. Start breaking down some of this other stuff that you do.
So, I mentioned Ralph Lauren, and what I really appreciate about Ralph Lauren is most people, we look at Ralph Lauren as a fashion designer, but he's actually more than that. He's a lifestyle designer. Mm-hmm. He has paint, he has furniture, he has accessories. Mm-hmm. So we realized once we got into the space of retail with Harlem Haberdashery, like, okay, we're in the fashion space with 5001 flavors. Now in a retail space with Harlem Haberdashery, what can we do to further our brand? Because we could have easily just had 5001 flavors and just been chilling. Mm-hmm. And it's always funny when people are like, I never heard of it. I'm like, you've seen our work. You don't even realize that you've seen a lot of our work. That's by design, actually. So when we opened up Harlem Haberdashery, like, how can we further our brand without just relying on fashion? Mm-hmm. So we want to go on a lifestyle product. We have a black tie every year, and we were sourcing sponsors. We came across, I forgot technically how it happened, but we came across a small spirit company that was like, hey, have you guys ever thought about having your own liquor? Or I'm like, you know how you have an idea, but it's so like out there that you like, it's on your list, but it's like down on the list because you like, it don't seem far-fetched, but it's like, that's going to take a little bit more due diligence. Yeah. So what's crazy was coming up with a name for our liquor was actually harder than learning the spirit business. Because we wanted it to feel good, wanted to to sound good, to be good.
Right.
So we came up with HA's Bespoke Spirits. Bespoke connecting back to fashion.
Right.
So all of our stuff is going to connect back to fashion. So it happened naturally that from Harlem Haberdashery grew HH's Bespoke, which is our lifestyle product division. Mm-hmm. So we came up with a fragrance spray, like a Febreze, but it is less evasive, that you could spray on your clothes, you can spray it on your skin. It's oil, you know what I'm saying? It's oil based. It's not It's not as aggressive as Febreze, but it's the easiest way to explain it. Most people spray it on their couches, they spray it in their closet. They spray in they wet laundry before they dry it. So we came up with a spray called Sweet Harlem, that's under HH Bespoke. From there we decided to do the liquor. And then once the liquor started thriving and was doing really well, and what's dope is, even back to fashion, is something that we're learning ourselves. There's nobody taught us anything, any business that we in. I don't do research, I don't do business plans, I'm not like typing nothing in, saying you do a little reading.
Do it and do it.
Yeah, you do a little reading here and there, but what I realize is most people spend more time planning to do something rather than actually doing it. Because when you plan to do something, you're actually scaring yourself. And procrastination is the worst kind of addiction to have. And to some degree, we all have procrastination. And what I realize is most people do research about things and then they put coming soon. Coming soon is actually your way of lying to yourself. Because you think because you told the world coming soon, I did it and I could go rest. Because it's coming soon. And sometimes it never really come. And you realize that. Think about how much stuff you've ever said, you're coming soon. And it never came.
Right.
Because you said coming soon, and then you put so much pressure on yourself that you never really did nothing. You just said, fuck it. And you don't even realize you said fuck it until I just told you that you said, oh, shit, I did say I was going to come soon with this. And we all lied ourselves. So I stopped saying coming soon and just started doing shit. And then learning. So the liquor, literally, we did not. There's no research. There's no business plan. We just did it and learned it. And then a few years later, we decided to come out with alkaline water. And then this year, we're working on 2 more things to further the HH Bespoke lifestyle brand, which I don't want to talk because I'm going to lie to myself if I tell you coming soon. Right. But a lot of my stuff, I won't tell you it's coming until it's coming, until like I got it.
Right.
Like it's in my hand.
Right.
I don't like to say coming soon with a thought. Because you're going in your mind, you subconsciously lie to yourself. So this the camera right here?
Okay.
Yeah.
Please, people, stop saying coming soon. Don't tell people your plan, your product, your service until you have it, until it's ready to roll out. I'm talking about until like the day or 2 before it's ready to roll out. Now you could do a countdown if that's what you want to do, but do not say coming soon until you have something coming. Because when you say coming soon, you're actually lying to yourself. You're not giving information to the world. I don't need to know what you got coming soon. I want to get it. If you got you got the hats, you got the sweaters, whatever you got, I already know you got a dope product. Why do I need to coming soon? Big brands, when they do coming soon, the product is already in their warehouse. They're just trying to figure out a way to roll it out to you. Samsung ain't coming soon, nothing they ain't got. Like Ciroc ain't coming soon, nothing they ain't got. They got it. They're just trying to figure out how to market it to you. Wow. So when you say coming soon, you're lying to yourself. You're trying to convince yourself that it's coming. Right. And a lot of times it don't come. So don't stop, please, everybody. Stop saying coming soon.
Just to keep it count. Don't come soon. I don't think in any circumstance don't come soon. Pause.
Right.
We got a fragrance, Febreze. We got a liquor brand, and we got an alkaline water, which I would love to get my hands on.
That's crazy, man. I had the bag, and I came over here a little bit early because I went to my man. Shout out to Brown Mill store on Hazley Street.
Okay.
Yeah, Brown Mill. Look
over
into
on
them, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do a lot of dope events. I was just over there because like anybody in business, man. To me, we like family, right? Okay. And the word competition is a made up word to have a word for the word competition. Competition is unrealistic, and it's dope. Isaac Hayes III just says something on Instagram. Is dope. You go to his page. I think it's Isaac Hayes III 3RD.
He the one who owns fan base?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
He be having some quotables. So he just said something that was so dope. He said, don't be scared to get into a space where there's competition. Because just because of competition don't mean you can't come up with a better product. The problem with competition, though, I think a lot of people fear competition because they fear that someone's going to knock them out the box. But if your product is so dope, I can stand next to you. I can stand next to anybody selling the same. Some of my greatest friends are in the same business. Like, we have beautiful friendships with people in the spirit world. Right. In the spirit world, there's no such thing as competition. I know they do it for jokes and for marketing. We learned that quick. In the fashion world, it's a lot of bitterness and shocks, and it's a lot of competition in the fashion world. I personally, my family, we don't believe in I'd rather put more people on, shout more people out, than believing someone's my competition. The reason for that, I always tell people, if you look out for people, if you put somebody on, if you put somebody in a position to win, when you're not hot, they could put you in a position to win. We all come down. Nobody stays hot forever. Nobody. That's crazy. Right. That's a scary thing in life. Nobody stays hot forever. Now, if I keep it real with everybody and make sure you good where you need to be, and be like, yo, go shop at my man's spot. Buy my man liquor. You can still buy mine, right? When mine's is not hot and yours is hot, now I could come to you to maybe work for you or get my shit back hot. When you go into a liquor store, one day you want to buy Hennessy cognac, the next day you want to buy Douce cognac, right? But you're never not like, oh, fuck Douce, it's Hennessy. We don't, that doesn't exist in the fashion, in the liquor world. That exists in the fashion world. I don't know why that is. There's some people who won't even walk by a certain store. Like, nah, it's the competition. That doesn't even make sense. I shout everybody out, man, and I love this community, this family that we built because of social media. We built an incredible community of friendship and camaraderie, and just I love going to other people's businesses. And
I had a funny story to go. You reminded me of when we was in NBA All-Star Weekend a couple years ago. We all went, the gifting suites and all that other stuff. My boy had some Adidas on. He went to Nike suite. Like, yo,
they kicked him out.
You can't come in here.
Nike like that.
Like, yo, you can't come in here. Yo, you gotta go change your shoes or don't come in. I'm
for the gifting set? Oh, yeah. Nike is like that, though. You can't even go to Nike campus with anything other than Nike on.
Crazy.
I mean, it's beef. It's war. You know what I'm saying? It's war.
Well, that's when you started talking about competition. I'm like, yo, that is.
But competition is. There's such thing as healthy competition, but anybody that I admire and love and shout out, I don't look at it as I can't think of. I'm actually in more competition with people in my family because everyone in my family is a designer than the outside world. Method Man says something so dope, and I attribute Wu-Tang to so much success and happiness in my life. Method Man always says, he said, the reason why I'm a successful rapper is because I only wanted to impress the Wu-Tang. So y'all love for me is a plus. And he always says this in the interview. So I only wanted to impress these 9 dudes here. Everybody else was whatever because they were the nicest people in all of their hoods. So I really want to impress my family, and I'm in competition with my family. I'm not in competition with nobody else because there's nobody as dope as us.
You know who else that remind me of? The Wayne's family.
Right.
They said, yo, they roast. They
only want to make each other laugh. But any real dope crew is like that. I only want to impress my crew. Now, if I impress you in the process of that, that's great. But that doesn't motivate me. Right. Method Man wants Raekwon and Ghost. Like, oh, because he thinks those are the 2 best.
And then that makes him hungry. Now, imagine being in a group like that. And you listen to everybody rhyme. That's why, like, iron sharpens iron. That's why it was incredible what the Wu-Tang did. Because all of these dudes were respected in their hoods as being the nicest. Then they come together and offer it to the world. And they didn't care what the world thought. They only wanted to impress the RZA. Come on, B. Like, how could you not be dope?
Same thing with NWA.
Right.
Yeah, same thing.
Right.
And when they even when they NWA, I had my boy Marcus Taylor who played Suge Knight in the NWA movie.
Okay.
Straight Outta Compton movie. And I remember when they were showing the scene where Cube was doing a diss track, and half of them was like mad, but then somebody in the back was laughing like, "Yo, he did get you." Like,
that's what I'm saying, and it's dope. It's dope. Like years later, it's like, "Yo, that shit was hard." Like that shit was, it was hard. Like, fuck, it's Ice Cube. Like, how the fuck? Imagine Ice Cube dissing you. You like at home, you like, "Whoa, this shit is hard."
I'm gonna come back from that.
That's my man.
Imagine, I always. This is a little bit of a segue. But I think that this term hasn't been a term that's been big, but I feel like in the mainstream, you know, it's been a lot of black on black, from the Tyree Nichols to all these different things. Shannon Sharp going at this person on TV. It's been a lot of black emotion, black thing. What do you think of the word black account? Because that everything you talk about reminds me of black on black accountability.
So, you know, when we talk about black on black, and I love this topic, is it's a controversial topic. I personally, this is me personally, I don't believe in the term black on black crime.
Okay.
What black on black crime, to me, what that insists is that a black man woke up, walked by 1 million white people, said, I'm going to kill a black man. And that's just not how it happens. You're a product of your environment. If I live in Watts, or if I live in Harlem or the Bronx, who lives in Harlem or the Bronx? Other black and brown people. So it's not that he went out his way to kill a black man just happened to be in the vicinity of his crime, or a part of his crime. So that's why black on black crime is always weird to me. I'm like, stop black on black crime, but like, how about just stop crime? Like, let's just stop crime, period.
Well, I don't want to. I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm going to is like how what you just said further enhance that thought of
Right,
black
so-
on black encounter. I mean, brown on. I don't know if the black
So
on black.
no,
is
I
the
get
right
what you're saying. Just when I hear black on black,
'Cause
I just always go to that because I'm
if
like,
we-
it's so weird. But it's the same thing. What you're saying is, we need to get out this space of that black people can't disagree with each other or have problems or rifts with each other, because that's just unrealistic. I don't believe the situation you're talking about Shannon Sharp, I don't believe he did anything wrong. It was just a man in emotions, and he has every right. If he did that to a white man, nobody would even care. It would just be a regular riff, and he does it all the time with Skip.
Right.
They always go at it. So why should it be different for a black man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you right or wrong. So I'm going to tell you ain't right or wrong.
Right.
He's just a man.
Right.
He ain't yell at that man because he's another black man. I think that we stifle and we pigeonhole ourselves by thinking that black people shouldn't disagree with each other in public spaces. No, you did some whack shit. I ain't like that shit. Has nothing to do with being black. We could be green, or it could be whatever
Human
color. But I just think that a lot of times we hold on to being black as like, yo, peace to the black man, and nah, you did some whack shit, I don't like you. It had nothing to do with me not liking black people, with me not liking my black brothers.
Yeah.
We can have disagreements, we can argue, we can fight, and it can still be I'm pro-black. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because that's something that we can continuously put each other down on is when someone has a problem. You only argue with black people. No, argue with wrong people. If they just happen to be black, just happen to be black.
Yeah.
I can't do nothing about that. But yeah, I think a lot of times that we do dumb shit to ourselves. I don't believe there's black on black problems and bad energy. It's just I'm right, you wrong, just happen to be black. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yo.
Because it's like, as a black person, you can't even have an opinion against another black person no more because of that.
Right.
But like, that's whack.
Everybody
I don't think what you said is right. And black people, we actually aid the destruction of other black people more than any other race, and we do not want to admit it. You want to talk about accountability? We do not admit it. And we do
That's
it.
the point I want to get to. We got to get to a
We
point.
do it.
Admit that.
We do it with jokes.
Right.
So it's funny when something happens. If we log on Instagram right now and celebrity did something funny, black Twitter, black Instagram, we gonna get our jokes off.
Right.
The problem is that our counterparts, our racial counterparts, don't understand that we gonna get the jokes off regardless. No matter who it is. It could be someone we love.
Right.
Obama and Michelle Obama is two of the most loved black couple in the world. Two of the most loved black people in the world. If they did something fun, we gonna get the jokes off.
Right.
Everybody get the jokes.
That's a fact.
But that's black love.
Right.
Roasting you is black love.
Exactly.
You ain't never been around your friends and not get roasted. I wouldn't even feel comfortable not getting roasted. Somebody gonna have a joke.
Yeah.
And that's something we learn in black culture in the cookouts. Your uncle's gonna do. Your friend come in with a whack outfit. Who put homeboy? That's black culture. So our racial counterparts, because of social media, they don't understand we getting the jokes off.
Right.
When the world was canceling Ye and then nobody canceled you, that we getting the jokes off.
Right.
The jokes is no matter what, no matter how much we love and hate you, the jokes is gonna joke. You ever see black Twitter joke about shit that's not a joke?
Yeah.
Jokes gonna happen. So the problem is that we gonna get the jokes off. We gonna talk our shit, and then they use that as their fuel our racial counterparts who are on that type of time, they use that for their fuel for coming. Like, no, this is a joke. Don't play with Oprah. Don't play with Obama. Don't play with Michelle Obama.
No.
Only we can talk about her. We can joke about her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how we show love.
Right.
Because you're going to get a joke off.
Right.
And that the beautiful thing about black people, which I always love, is as a black man, if I move into a white neighborhood, I'm going to feel uncomfortable for a lot of obvious and undermining reasons, right? A white person is welcome in the hood. You're going to get roasted. You just got to accept it. Yeah, who brought the white boy to the hood? But nobody going to make you feel uncomfortable. That's a stereotype, B. That is a real, black people are more accepting of other races than other races are black people.
It's a fact.
Because all we going to do is roast you. But you don't realize that if you stay around us a lot of years, like, everybody get this. Your grandmother get it.
Right.
Yo, who fuck with granny? Who fuck that with my granny?
Especially grandma.
Who put that with my one thing black people gonna do is joke and laugh. And we don't care who it is. At a funeral, don't sit next to your stupid cousin. Oh my God.
Man, look at that shit.
So if you any race, you come around black people, as long as you can take a joke, you're gonna be at home.
Right.
Cause we joke on each other.
You know what? You know what's the craziest thing? It don't matter where you are either.
No matter
in the world.
where you are.
You could be in Africa. They gonna be talking Swahili.
Yo.
And cracking on you.
I don't know why. That's the thing. Yo, black people gonna joke. We don't care what our house could be burnt down. We could be poor. We can have no clothes.
Right.
I got 2 more shirts than you. I'm better.
Ain't nobody with Sweet Brown. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yo, but I feel like that's how we get over our everything. And yo, B, the reason why, so that's why it's interesting that black suicide is so up, because we've always been such a happy people to get over anything. But that's how you know the world is so tough, man. Yo, life is hard.
Right.
Life is hard. If you're not joking and smiling, if you're not surrounded by people with jokes and smiles, it's gonna be even harder. Right. So this is why, like, I love when you just get around your friends in an event and y'all just laugh. You ever just be laughing and you don't even know. After 10 minutes, you're like, you don't even know what the fuck the joke was.
Bro,
right.
Because the nigga laughing
right.
so hard.
This
His
is what
laugh make you laugh.
This is what I love about black people. But if you don't know that, you can see us joking on somebody on Instagram and be like, oh, they don't like this person. No, we gonna get the joke's gonna go. Right. I don't care who it is. Right.
Any given day.
Anybody can get it.
I had this poem in my I was working on the other day. It says, "I'm a humble nobody, but Simba said I'm somebody, so anybody could get it. You know, right. Anybody could get it.
Anybody.
That's
the beautiful thing about being black.
Dispelling myths. Team, we talked about you do a lot.
Right.
You and the fam, y'all do a lot. And then we were talking pre-recording and was like, yeah. I'm like, Team No Sleep, huh? And you was like, yo, break down your thoughts.
So, it's crazy. No lie, and this is something I think about at least once, twice a week when I'm sleeping late.
Right.
The goal is not to not sleep. The goal is to make money in your sleep. I don't know why this is not the narrative that we're pushing. Team No Sleep, because like I told you, you could be up for 2 days and still be broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, staying up all night doesn't mean anything. Now, you ever had a lot of work to do and you pull an all-nighter because you're being productive. But the way no sleep was always promoted to us growing up, like if you stay up, you on your grind. Everybody is asleep at 3 in the morning. What are you on your grind doing? If you're not in the studio, if you're not doing anything like productive, actually staying up and doing nothing is counterproductive. Because when everybody is up, what you doing? You sleep. So it's like, what if I got a different work schedule? Like, and I sleep all day and work all night. Like, or my shit is different. I gotta go to sleep. If you got a 9 to 5, why are you Team No Sleep? Like, what are you actively doing that you're Team No Sleep? I want to go to sleep. I actually love sleep. Is a favorite pastime of mine is going to sleep. I actually love going to sleep if I know the next day I got a busy, productive day, because it makes me feel, I'm like, yo, I gotta kill this. Now, I as much as I'm Team Sleep, I love waking up early. I think that's why I'm Team Sleep. Like, I wake up 4 or 5 in the morning. Sometimes to do nothing, but I like to get an early start. I like to my ideas and I go everywhere. where I gotta be. I love getting everywhere early. That's the reason why I like getting up early. Cause I don't like if I gotta be somewhere at 8, I don't like getting there at 8. Cause I need to be there. I need to melt into the situation. I need to make sure all my business is taken care of.
I'm not gonna lie. Today, I called B. I was like, again, B was like, "Yo, I'm finished up. I gotta help my son finish up some homework. All right, cool. Well, here, and usually people get here at 7. Sometimes 7:10. When we
7:30.
7:30. Sometimes, I hung up the phone. My phone rang. This was 6:30, 6:28.
And I was actually here for 45 minutes before I called you.
Wow. He's like, yo,
I was sitting right across the street at that little park thing.
He's like, yo, I'm here. I called B back. I was like, yo.
And I was actually in the area since like 4:30. Told you I went to.
You was on the street from me.
I was in Market Street. I was walking around. Went to Brown Mill. Like I went and ate across the street. Like I was. And what's crazy about Brown Mill, I always forget they're actually right across the street from my man Marcus Samuelson restaurant. Right. I always forget because in my mind, when I do go there, it be nighttime. So Brown Mill be closed. I came out and said, oh shit, they're literally right across the street. Right. So I was just chilling on Hazley Street, and it got like 5:50. I didn't realize it was so close. So when I got here, I just sat in my car and did my shit. And then I was like, I knew I was gonna call you at 6:30, but I was over here like 5:50. I get everywhere early. That's just me. That's something I get from my mom.
Appreciate it because it helps us, get to where we got to get to on time. B ain't got to be here too late,
And when I get somewhere early, I always tell people when they set up, I'm like, I'm good. You know how people think you like, no, I'm just, don't worry. I'll get somewhere 2 hours early. Like really, if I could, I would have been here at 4 o'clock. No lie. Like no lie. Because I like to be places because I can work from anywhere. So why be at home or in Harlem working where if I knew I had to be at a certain time, I would have came here as early as you would have let me, and I would have been working. That's just how I am. But I'm like that everywhere in the world. I love being early. I love getting to the airport early. I love getting to meetings early, to appointments, to photo shoots. Not to rush the other person, but literally for me because I got a million things to do at any given moment. So right now, like when this is all, I got to sit in my car probably an hour and catch up while we doing this, and I have no problem doing that. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem being busy. I have no problem always having things to do. It fuels my soul to do that. So as much as I am team sleep, there are some when I stay up late. But the thing is, and I attribute this to my mother also, I could literally stay up for 2 days, but if I stay up for 2 days, I'm doing productive things. I'm never just staying up like scratching my butt watching TV. Like I'm just not doing that. Unless it's a show you binging or something. You afford yourself every now and again. But I love staying up late when I got something to do. Like, I could figure. I got wild projects, like just infinite projects that sometimes I just stay up. But get your fucking sleep, man. Get your sleep.
What I'll say is that I outside of this, because I'll tell you, he's like, yo, when you come here, yo, I can see the passion and everything that's behind you. Other stuff sometimes, I ain't gonna lie. When my passion isn't there, I might be a little bit close to the vest. But what you just gave me was if you hire me for photography, for personal training, I'm gonna be there on time. Let's let that be clear. But what I'll say is what you really just gave me was a nugget that I'm going to take that personal and implement that into what I'm doing because you are right. Like imagine just being there and being able to just ease to what you got to do. You don't got to rush.
I don't like.
You don't got to worry about
start
traffic.
Sweating. And, Nah, I like to get somewhere, and when we go, I'm already relaxed. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you're not relaxed, you're not gonna be successful in life. Right. That's another thing that sleep avails you to be relaxed, to be rested. You know what I'm saying? Because you being up for 2 days, it does something. Being up one night does something to you. What are you up doing? Like like if you go onto Facebook 2 a.m, yo, team no sleep check in. What are you doing up? Now, if you're doing something dope, you ain't got time to be posting, team. Like, some people just be up. Like, what are you up doing? Do something. Yo, we all got the same 24 hours. Yo, that's the scariest thing in the world, that we all have the same 24 hours. I was just, and it's a Michael Jordan commercial that I absolutely love and I always watch, where he's talking about how he made the game of basketball look so easy. And what most people don't realize is, In a basketball game, what's a basketball game? 48 minutes? Michael Jordan's probably practicing for those 48 minutes for 48 hours, right? So nobody could tell you how long to practice for something. But when you go somewhere, it's a time. Like if you go to a photo shoot, you have it's an hour. But if you're already prepared, right? Like I just did a photo shoot with someone. They wait until the book time to start preparing all this stuff for the shoot. And then they had 10 minutes to shoot. No lie, they had 10 minutes to shoot. Because it took them an hour and a half to get all this stuff ready. I'm like, why not? Preparation is more important than the event. Most people don't realize that. That's something I learned from my mother. That's something I learned from my sister. Preparation is important, dog. Like, nobody could tell Michael Jordan, yo, don't go in that gym and shoot 4,800 foul shots. Or tell LeBron, go shoot 40,000 shots. But once you're in the game, it's constricted. You only got 48 minutes. But what you put in to get prepared for that is different. Nobody could tell you how to get prepared. That's where most people make the mistake.
I have a kid that I'm training now. You know, I don't do I mix and match, but you know, kid got sent my way. I was like, yeah, I'll train him and get him ready football practice. I already got him. He's 8th grade going to 9th grade. Relentless. We starting out there. The book with Kobe Bryant's talking about the practice habits, the preparation habits, and it's more that Kobe Bryant and other people this guy trained. But it really just talks about that preparation. So in that mindset and in that thoughtfulness, man, you drop in.
But what's scary is we all know this. We all know that we all got the same 24 hours.
Right.
If you play ball, you got the same 24 hours Kobe Bryant had. Kobe Bryant, when he was injured, would still go to the gym and just shoot with one hand. Muscle memory. Steph Curry shoots 3,000 shots before he probably get to the game. So when he get to the game, it's muscle memory.
Right.
You can't be cold, go to the game, and think you're going to shoot like Steph Curry.
Right.
Come on, that don't even make sense.
Right.
You can't think you're going to not train for a boxing match, go out and be Mike Tyson. Care how big you are. It has nothing to do with shape.
Especially Mike Tyson.
Right. Think about that, Mike Tyson. Yo, the exercise, if you look at like his old regimen, that was crazy. He did all of that to knock you out in 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
He didn't do all that for fun. He didn't do all that because it looked good on paper. Yo, he said, if I didn't win in the first round, I felt like I lost the fight. That's crazy. Who the fuck's how you even had that mindset?
Savage.
He trained to knock you out early. He didn't train to knock you out. That's a difference. Because there are fights that go to 10th round and get a knockout.
Right.
Mike Tyson trained to knock you out fast. That's the only thing he trained for. And he said he realized that he was done with boxing when he stopped having that mindset. And that's why I really love watching his interviews because he's so honest. He said, I got lazy. He said, if you win long enough, you're going to get lazy. That's when you know it's time to quit.
Yeah, this whole interview was a win.
All gems.
I'm going to have you come back again.
Man, I love talking, man.
And next time we're going to come back, I'm going to shoot you the reminder, come with your product.
I got a bunch of stuff. I can fill this whole shit up, man.
You
we didn't even talk about my other store. I got a whole nother brand, the Gold Standard.
Well, you can plug it, and then, like I said, when we come back, we're going
So we got...
plug everything that you want to plug, too.
Man, so what's crazy is, so my cousin hit me, said, yo, he wants to learn the fashion business. So we coming up with names. I'm on first. I'm like, yo, let's call it Made in America. I was trying to think of names that could last for years. I was in a bank one day and a commercial came on. It was like, with the Gold Standard is a saying for like the best, like the upper echelon. So I'm like, yo, let's call it the Gold Standard. And as soon as I said it, he said it was dope, but I was telling him, I said, yo, it's so easy to brand the Gold Standard because you can have the store, and now he's designing clothes within the store. And what's crazy is some people, like I said about putting them on, all you got to do is show some people where to walk. And my cousin been going, like he's a designer now, that's crazy. 5-10 years ago, he would have never labeled himself a designer. He's designing actual clothes. All you need is sometimes all you need is a dope name. The right name will get you in the right place. A lot of times people having dope products, and I'm like, that name don't even go, like. So when I said the Gold Standard, you're like, ooh. If you've never heard that saying before, you say, yo, let's all of us start a company. I said the Gold Standard, your mind, like, oh, you go so many, it sounds so dope. So it's so many things we could do with it. So we opened up a clothing store, and during the pandemic, was doing well in Poughkeepsie, New York. Now we have a second store in Poughkeepsie Mall, and sky's the limit, man. It's going absolutely incredible. I'm proud of my cousin and the team up there. Like every time I go up there, I'm just like, wow, like this is so crazy because he's starting to build a core group of people who believe in him, like how I have with Harlem Haberdashery. And I always try to encourage people is to be successful in business, you have to have a team. Most people assume that I'm by myself, and to you meet my team, we fill up this whole fucking room. Because even when I'm winning awards, when I'm at somewhere and people are showing me props, there's a lot of people behind me you don't see. By their design. Some people don't want to be seen. They just want, this is what we're doing. I don't think people realize how many people go into a music star, right? It's like 200 people sometimes going to one star. So there's a lot of people that goes into each of these brands. So anybody that has like a brand or anything that you're trying to build, you have to build a core team around you. And I'm not talking about get people job titles. You just have to have people that believe in your brand, that when it's time to mob up or transform into this ultra thing, you got people behind you. Right. So even when people do pop-ups and stuff at my store, I always tell people, your friends are not supporters, right? So if you do a pop-up, if you do any type of event, reach out to 20 core people that you know are gonna come. Because I've done a lot of pop-ups with a lot of celebrities. A lot of people, 300,000 followers, can't fill up a room because they're relying on numbers. So I always tell people, when you do events, a birthday party, anything, reach out to 20 core people. I need you to come, bro. I need you to come. And then you focus on those outer rings of people. But once you have that core group, you're going to be successful because that core group is going to make sure you're always going to look good. You're always going to be successful. And that's the beautiful thing about all the people that I have around me. Everybody wants everybody to look good, respectfully in their own space. Nobody wants to look better than anybody as far as like, I'm more important. But when it's your time, it's your time. And right now is my cousin's time. He's up. He's a designer. He wanted to be a designer. He's a designer. So now he's creating all of these dope people around him. And what I always tell him also is you gotta create leaders. If you just a leader and you ain't creating no leaders, you're not doing a good job. So you gotta put somebody else in a position. I hate the word put on, but realistically that's what it is. But you do have to put someone in a position to be you. You have to, or you're not doing a good job as a leader.
That store is the gold standard.
The gold standard, yep. And we're
Poughkeepsie.
doing at Poughkeepsie, yep.
Anything else?
The water, HHB Bespoke water, HHB Bespoke spirits, and all that. We all on Instagram. Harlem Haberdashery, 5001 flavors. We didn't even talk about my nonprofits, which is crazy, because that's usually what I talk about more. My nonprofit, Take Care of Harlem, which does everything, man. I do a toy drive, a coat drive, a prom drive, school supply drive. Trying to add little more things in, but those are like my core programming. I have a few murals in Harlem. What's crazy is a couple of years ago, I actually started Take Care of Newark. I have Take Care of Newark, and we've done a couple of events. Okay. Yeah, and it's actually really successful, man. And what's dope about the Take Care brand is that I want someone to see it and start Take Care wherever you're from. I don't give a fuck. You don't have to involve me. I would love for you to involve me, but it doesn't have to be about me. I want it. So my man that's from out here started Take Care of Newark. And you know, he does events when he can because there's a lot of work. Community work is a lot of work, man. Yeah. So, you know, but I absolutely love the community, and I do feel like that's what I was put on this earth to do, is to inspire the community, to inspire our boys and girls. But more importantly, just to show even the older generation that they're still, like, we can be young, dope, and still care about our hoods, you know what I'm saying? So that's really what I love about community work. And Harlem Haberdashery serves as a hub for a lot of the community stuff that we do. So that was the beautiful thing about opening up the store in Harlem, is that we had a hub for all of these brands. So that's just the stuff I'm doing. My entire family, man, we probably got like 10, 20 other brands that have nothing to do with me that's just incredible. My nephew has Billionaire New York. My business partner, Ashley, has Be Iconic. She's doing incredible things. My little cousin has Visions, and he's an up-and-coming designer. So it's dope to see people have an idea. Not just my family. I just love seeing people say something and then do it. You're like, damn. You ever be like scrolling Instagram, see somebody who said he's gonna do some shit and be happy? You're like, yo, damn, he did that shit. That's what life is about, man. Being happy for other people, man. Like, a lot of people are bitter, man. Like, seeing other people happy really makes me happy. It truly, truly does. I believe that is my That's my superpower, is seeing other people happy. It gives me so much joy, seeing people happy, seeing people do something that they want to do.
Where can they follow you on all your social tags?
Well, you could, so on my shit, you can follow me at Kellsmania. That is KELLSMANIA. If you go to my bio, you can see all my stuff. One suggestion that I do have to any type of an entrepreneur, anybody doing anything, if you have multiple businesses, buy a domain name, go to Linktree, connect your Linktree to your domain name. It's easier for me to promote Kellsmania.com than it is Linktree.com/12345. When I go to somebody's Linktree, I assume, me personally, I assume that they're not serious about their business. I like seeing custom domain names. Like if you had boom.com, all the stuff you do, you probably got different websites and stuff and different pages. Right. Then you get the Linktree, you do boom whatever.com, bam, everything you do right there. People are like, oh shit. So it's essentially all I got is a Linktree, just with everything that I do at Kellsmania.com.
Kellsmania.com.
Yep.
Again, he coming back. Like this ain't enough time to really get to everything that we wanted to get to.
Right.
I'm already. This ain't a coming soon. He just coming back. You know what I mean? Yeah, I thank you for coming. I thank you for coming on short notice. I thank you for just coming in there and just bringing all this knowledge. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm listening, I'm talking, and and sometimes I listen to engage. I'm more so been listening and just taking notes in this particular episode. So I just thank you for coming on.
Yes, brother. Thank you for having me.
This is the House of Boom podcast, powered by Clean Everything LLC, and we are out. Peace.